All right, let's dive in. This time we're taking a closer look at Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, and I know you're big into this whole magical world, and this particular film, well, goes to some pretty dark places.
It does.
Even if you've seen the movie 100 times, I bet we'll uncover some stuff you never noticed. We're working with the actual movie script here, by the way.
Straight from the source.
Exactly.
And speaking of diving right in, the script wastes no time, you know? It starts with a bang Sirius Black escaping from Azkaban.
Oh, yeah, Azkaban. That's wizard prison, right?
Yep. And not just any prison. It's practically designed to make escape impossible.
So right away, we get this feeling of danger, like this guy is serious business.
Oh, absolutely. He's not just some petty thief. He's supposed to be a Voldemort supporter, a straight-up murderer.
So they're really playing up the fear factor.
For sure. And the Ministry of Magic is freaking out, trying to keep Harry safe. They're convinced Black is after him.
Makes sense. But why Harry? What does Black want with him? The script doesn't exactly spell it out right away, does it?
Nope. It keeps you guessing. You know, it's like that classic Harry Potter thing where the past just keeps coming back to haunt the present.
Right. Like Harry's parents' murder is still this open wound.
Exactly. And now you've got this escaped convict who's tied to that tragedy somehow.
Oh, suspense.
Yeah. And just when you think things can't get any more intense...
We get the dementors.
Oh, man, the dementors.
About creepy.
They're supposed to be protecting Harry, but they're straight out of a nightmare.
No kidding.
You know what's interesting about the dementors, though? They're not just a physical threat. They're like a psychological weapon.
Oh, how so?
They prey on your happiest memories, you know, and they just leave you with this emptiness and despair.
Imagine being forced to relive your worst moments over and over.
Especially for someone like Harry, who's already been through so much loss and trauma.
Right. It's like they're amplifying his pain. Professor Lupin, he seems to get why they affect Harry so much more than everyone else.
He does.
He says it's because of Harry's past, bringing back the horror of that night his parents were murdered.
And that brings up a whole other question. How do you fight fear when it's so deeply rooted in your experiences?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And that's where the Patronus charm comes in. Lupin sees how vulnerable Harry is, so he decides to teach him this really advanced magic.
The Patronus charm. Now that's a cool concept.
It is.
You're conjuring up this silvery animal-shaped force, and it's powered by your happiest memories.
It's almost like a guardian, you know, this manifestation of your inner strength and joy.
That's awesome. But of course, it's never that simple for Harry, is it?
Not really.
Even his happy memories have this sadness and loss mixed in.
It makes it tough to conjure a Patronus.
Makes sense. He's carrying so much grief.
It's like even his best moments are bittersweet because of what he's lost.
Okay, so we've got this escaped convict, these soul-sucking guards, and Harry wrestling with his past.
Quite a lot going on already.
Yeah. And then the story throws in the Marauders map.
Oh, yeah.
This thing is basically a magical GPS for Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Showing you where everyone is and what they're doing.
Talk about mischief potential.
Right.
But, you know, the Marauders map, it's not just a fun toy.
Okay, I'm listening.
It gets at some pretty big themes.
Like what?
Think about it. It reveals secrets, shows you hidden paths, and it challenges how you see things.
Okay, I see what you mean. It makes you question things.
Exactly. And on the surface, it might seem like it's just for messing around, but it ends up being a way to uncover the truth, which can be both exciting and dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's through the map that Harry and his friends discover something huge. Peter Pettigrew is alive.
The one everyone thought Sirius Black murdered years ago.
Wait, what? But he was supposed to be dead.
Right. And the script kind of hints that he might be way more involved in everything than anyone realizes.
So this supposedly dead guy is suddenly back in the picture.
It changes everything.
That's a major plot twist.
It is, and the map becomes the symbol of, like, hidden layers, truths beneath the surface.
Wow. Okay, so we've got this huge twist with Peter Pettigrew's resurrection.
Right.
Then everything just explodes in the Shrieking Shack.
That's where all the secrets start spilling out.
You've got Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew all in one place.
Talk about tense.
And the truth finally starts to come out.
It's like a pressure cooker in there. You have these three characters, each with their own secrets and their own agendas, and the stakes are incredibly high. We find out that Lupin, who's a werewolf,
Oh, right.
was actually best friends with Black and Harry's father, James.
Wow. So much history.
And being a werewolf, it means facing a lot of fear and prejudice in the wizarding world.
Right, it's like a whole other layer to his character.
It is.
Okay, so we're constantly having to reevaluate what we thought we knew about these characters.
Absolutely. And just when you think you've got it all figured out.
We get the biggest reveal of all. Peter Pettigrew, Ron's pet rat, Scabbers,
Of all things.
is the one who betrayed Harry's parents.
The real villain.
Mind-blowing. The sense of betrayal must be intense, especially for Harry.
It is. He's just starting to believe Sirius is innocent, and then, bam, this rat, this seemingly harmless creature he's had around all this time.
Turns out to be the bad guy.
It's a powerful message, Appearances can be deceiving.
Oh, absolutely. And you can trust the wrong people, even those closest to you. It sets up this whole race against time to save Sirius and expose the truth. And then Hermione, brilliant as always, pulls out this crazy thing called a time turner.
Time travel.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Did we just level up in magic or something?
The time turner changes everything. It brings in this whole idea of manipulating time, which opens up all sorts of possibilities and some ethical problems, too.
Right. Like what happens when you mess with the past?
Exactly. Can you really change things without causing some crazy ripple effects in the present?
The script doesn't shy away from those questions.
It doesn't.
So Hermione, who's always the voice of reason and logic,
Always.
is suddenly wielding this incredibly powerful magic.
It's pretty intense.
And she's not just doing it for Sirius, she's trying to save Buckbeak the hippogriff, too. He's been unjustly sentenced to death.
Right.
It adds another layer to Hermione's character.
Yeah, definitely. She's not just book smart. She's resourceful, brave, and willing to bend the rules when she has to.
Especially if it means doing the right thing.
Exactly.
It's crazy watching them try to navigate time without getting caught and making sure they don't accidentally change the future.
The stakes are so high.
Seriously. It's like a giant puzzle where the pieces are people's lives.
And then, just when you think there's no hope,
Sirius escapes on Buckbeak.
he's finally free after all that time wrongly imprisoned.
What a moment.
Talk about cathartic.
It's like this image of pure freedom.
Flying off into the moonlight.
Amazing.
Even after all that suffering, there's still a chance for redemption, a chance for a better future.
It's a powerful message of hope.
It is. But even with that triumph, there are some bittersweet goodbyes, too.
Oh, right. Professor Lupin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He decides to resign from Hogwarts.
Because of the prejudice against werewolves?
Yeah. It's a tough decision for him, but
It really makes you think.
it does.
Lupin is such a talented teacher, and he clearly cares about his students. But he's forced to leave because of fear and discrimination.
It's a harsh reminder, Even in this world of magic, prejudice can still be so strong. Lupin represents all those people who are pushed aside just because they're different.
And his resignation, it really highlights how hard it is to achieve true acceptance, even in a society that embraces the extraordinary.
That's a good point.
It's heartbreaking, especially considering how much Lupin cares for his students. And then his parting gift to Harry.
The Marauders map.
It's like a symbol of their connection,
Yeah. It is. A reminder of the adventures they shared.
It's almost like a piece of Harry's father, too.
It's a way for Lupin to stay connected to Harry, even though he's leaving.
It's a beautiful gesture.
Yeah, it's almost like a legacy. This tangible link to Harry's father and the friendship he shared with Lupin and Sirius.
Right.
It's beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, let's talk about that Patronus charm for a minute.
Okay, yeah. Conjuring a, silvery?
Silvery.
Animal guardian
Uh-huh.
powered by your happiest memories.
Right.
That's some seriously next-level magic.
It is.
But how does it actually work? Like, is there a deeper meaning behind the animal that shows up?
Well, it's not just about the happy memories themselves.
Okay.
It's about tapping into, your core identity, your deepest sources of strength and joy. And the animal form, well, it's unique to each person, reflecting their personality, their spirit.
Oh, interesting. So, it's a reflection of you.
Exactly. Like Harry's Patronus, it's a stag.
Right.
Just like his father's.
Oh, wow.
So it hints at this deep, almost spiritual connection between them.
So cool. So the Patronus, it's not just a defense mechanism. It's like a magical mirror showing your inner self.
I like that, a magical mirror.
But what about those dementors? They're more than just physically scary, right?
Yeah, they're brilliantly symbolic, aren't they?
In what way?
They embody despair, hopelessness, the draining of joy and life. They feed on our darkest memories, our deepest fears.
That's pretty heavy.
It is. In a way, they represent the shadows we all have inside us.
Oh, I see. like those negative forces that can take over if we let them.
Right. And it makes you think, doesn't it, about how we each deal with our own inner demons, those struggles we face in life.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it makes Harry's ability to conjure a Patronus, to fight back against that darkness, even more impressive.
Absolutely. It shows his resilience, his ability to find hope, even in the toughest times.
Even when surrounded by dementors.
Exactly. And that's a major theme running through Prisoner of Azkaban. This idea that even when things are really bad, there's always that glimmer of hope. There's always a chance for redemption.
I like that, hope and redemption. And it brings us back to Sirius Black.
Right. The guy we thought was the villain at first.
But he ends up being a victim himself.
Wrongly accused and imprisoned. His whole story is about second chances, about breaking free from the past.
It's a reminder that even after going through awful things, the human spirit can still find a way.
It can. And he never gives up hope. And when he escapes from Azkaban, it's not just a physical escape, it's like a metaphor too.
What do you mean?
It's about taking back your freedom, your identity, even when the whole world seems to be against you.
That's powerful.
It is a powerful message of resilience and standing up for what's right, no matter what.
No matter what. And speaking of standing up for what's right, there's Hermione and her mission to save Buckbeak.
Oh, yeah. Talk about commitment.
She actually uses a time turner to manipulate time.
That's hardcore.
Seriously. I mean, it makes you wonder about the ethics of time travel, right?
It does. It raises those big questions. Can you really change the past without causing some unintended consequences? Is it okay to mess with the natural order of things?
Yeah, like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
One small change could have huge ripple effects we don't even see coming.
Exactly. And, it really shows another side of Hermione. She's not afraid to bend the rules, to break them even if it means doing what she believes is right.
It shows incredible bravery,
Yeah.
And a strong sense of justice.
It does. And it reminds us that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is to challenge the way things are, to stand up for what you believe in, even when people are against you.
Especially when people are against you. And that leads us to another big element in Prisoner of Azkaban, this idea of perception versus reality.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. The whole story plays with what we expect.
We're led to believe Sirius is the bad guy, then bam.
Oh.
He's innocent.
And we see Peter Pettigrew as this harmless rat, completely unaware of who he really is.
It makes you question everything.
Right. It's a brilliant way of turning expectations upside down.
Totally.
The film makes us look beyond what we see on the surface, to question our assumptions, to be careful about judging others without knowing the whole story.
That's a valuable lesson, especially today when misinformation and biases can easily influence how we see things.
They can. And it's not just about individual characters, It's about questioning systems and institutions, too.
Like the Ministry of Magic. They're so quick to condemn Sirius without even looking into the evidence properly.
Right. And it shows how dangerous it can be to blindly trust authority.
It shows how important it is to think critically, to question things.
It's a reminder that even in a magical world, there are still flaws, biases, and injustices
That need to be addressed.
Absolutely. It's a theme that really resonates, especially now. And it's inspiring to see Harry, Ron, and Hermione, even though they're young, questioning authority and fighting for what they think is right.
They're not afraid to challenge the adults, the people in power.
They're not. And it sends a powerful message. It encourages young people to think for themselves and to stand up for what they believe in.
It shows that courage and determination can really make a difference, even when things seem impossible.
Exactly. And, for all the serious themes and those really intense moments, Prisoner of Azkaban doesn't forget to have fun.
Oh, yeah. The movie is full of adventure, humor, and those magical moments that make the Harry Potter world so captivating.
Like that scene when Harry first flies on Buckbeak.
Oh, yeah. The sense of freedom, the pure joy on his face.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
And the visual effects are amazing. They bring Buckbeak to life so realistically, it's breathtaking.
It's pure movie magic.
It is. And then there are those Marauders map scenes, sneaking around Hogwarts, finding those secret passages, outsmarting Filch.
Classic.
It's pure childhood adventure. It reminds us of that joy of exploring, of pushing boundaries, of that sense of wonder we all felt as kids.
And it's hilarious.
It is. Those moments where they're dodging Filch, trying to figure out the map's clues.
They bring this lightness to the film. It's like a reminder that even when things are scary or dark, there's always room for laughter and fun.
Exactly. And speaking of laughter and fun, we can't forget about the real heart of the story, the friendship between Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
They are the ultimate dream team,
They bicker, they tease each other,
but their loyalty is unshakable.
they face everything together, celebrate together, they're always there for each other no matter what.
That's true friendship, the kind that gets you through anything.
It is, and it goes beyond just magic, you know?
Yeah.
It reminds us of how important human connection is.
It's what makes the Harry Potter world so relatable. We see ourselves in those characters, in their struggles, their victories, their relationships.
Absolutely.
And that's what keeps us coming back, wanting to experience the magic over and over again. But there's more to it than just friendship and adventure, right? Prisoner of Azkaban dives deep into the characters, especially Harry.
He's definitely not just the boy who lived anymore. You know, he's dealing with some real teenage angst in this one.
He is, yeah. Questioning his place in the world,
Yeah.
dealing with feelings of anger and isolation. It's a lot.
And those encounters with the dementors, they're really pivotal for him. He's forced to confront his deepest fear, you know?
Losing his parents.
Yeah. And you can just feel the raw emotion in those scenes.
Absolutely. But those scenes are also where he discovers this strength he didn't even know he had. Like when he casts the Patronus charm, not just for himself, but to save Sirius too.
Man, pure magic.
Gives me chills every time. It's like,
Yeah.
even though they're gone, his parents' love is still there, this powerful shield protecting him from the darkness.
It speaks to that theme of legacy, doesn't it? Which runs so deep in this story.
It does. It really does. And it makes Lupin's role as his mentor even more meaningful, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He guides Harry, teaches him how to use his magic, how to face his fears.
Right.
But Lupin's battling his own demons, too.
Literally,
Yeah.
with his werewolf condition. It adds another layer to the whole exploration of prejudice and acceptance.
It does. Even in a world full of magic, there's still so much fear and misunderstanding of what's different.
And then Lupin's resignation, even though he was so loved as a teacher, it just shows how deeply rooted that prejudice really is. Makes you wonder, you know.
Yeah. Does the wizarding world even want to embrace its own diversity?
It's a big question, one that sticks with you after the movie ends.
Definitely. And it reflects the struggles we see in the real world, too, with acceptance and inclusion.
Oh, absolutely.
But for all the darkness and these complex themes, Prisoner of Azkaban never loses that sense of magic, that wonder that draws us into this world in the first place.
That's true.
Those scenes with the Marauders map, pure gold. The mischief, the way Harry, Ron, and Hermione explore all those hidden corners of Hogwarts.
It's like we're right there with them.
Exactly. Rediscovering that magic of childhood.
And it's not just about childish fun, though.
Okay, what else is it about?
The map represents this deeper desire for knowledge, you know? It's about pushing boundaries, uncovering secrets. It reminds us that curiosity and that thirst for adventure are so important.
For growing up and discovering who we are.
Exactly.
And let's not forget how hilarious those scenes are.
Oh, I know.
Dodging Filch, deciphering those cryptic clues.
Hmm.
It brings a lightness to the film. Like a reminder that even when things are tough, there's always room for laughter and joy.
There is. It's all about finding that balance, acknowledging the hard stuff, the prejudice, the loss, the fear, but also celebrating the good.
The resilience of the human spirit, the power of friendship, the magic that you can find in the most unexpected places.
That's what it's all about.
So we're wrapping up this deep dive into Prisoner of Azkaban. What really stands out for you? What are you still thinking about?
For me, it's the characters, how complex they are, especially Harry. He's not just the symbol anymore. He's becoming his own person, facing his fears, finding his strengths, and the relationships, those bonds between the characters are what drive the whole story.
It's true. The friendship, the mentorship, the love, even in the face of loss.
That's what makes this film so powerful, so lasting.
So well said. And it leaves us with a sense of hope. Yes, the world is full of challenges, of dark things.
It is.
But there's also magic. There's love. There's friendship. And those things, those connections can help us through anything.
I think so too.
Thanks for joining me on this journey into the heart of Prisoner of Azkaban. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the magic.